to play.
The United States is home to 5% of the world's population, but 25% of the world's prisoners. Every year, we spend $80 billion to keep people locked up.
Life's been a battle for me, man. And the way you spoke about being a guerrero and all that stuff, bro, like, that's real, man. Like, I feel like crying right now, bro. Like, yo, that's real. And you remind us of who we really are, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I respect that the cause that you talk about, man, because that's a real movement right there. You know, you really have to think it like, oh, this guy's real.
Peace, family.
Peace.
Saludo, mi gente.
Saludo.
What does culture mean? What pops to your mind when you hear the word culture? Where someone's from.
Nationality.
Nationality.
Beliefs.
Beliefs.
Heritage.
Heritage.
Yeah.
Right?
Dancing, eating, stuff.
All these different components that make up what our culture is. Is culture limited to nationality?
No.
Is culture limited to race?
No.
What else? What other kind of cultures could we talk about?
Hip-hop culture.
Hip-hop culture. What else?
Rock.
Rock culture. How about jail?
Jail.
Right? We got jail culture, right? And this is a thing. Who creates culture?
We do.
Again, who creates culture?
We do.
All right. So is jail culture something that just runs on its own, or is jail culture something that you also co-create? So knowing that, you know that you have the power to create this culture and this environment any way, shape, or form you see fit. Could jail be a place that potentially you enjoy?
Yes.
I mean, you don't have your freedoms limited, but you could also take advantage of that time and space and situation and create it, right? Co-create it into something that's positive and uplifting to you.
For me, I heard a lot of key points that I think would be beneficial to me when I return back out to society. You know, just the way I think, that I'm in control of my own destiny, my energy basically affects how other people interact. I could be a positive force to my community. Just gave me a whole nother outlook on how at once I was a destructive force, but now I could be a rebuilding force, I would say.
Now, we also talk about the power of I am, right? We say that the two most important words in the English language are the words I and am. Does anybody know why?
I am never coming back here again.
That's right.
Because it describes who you are as an individual.
So you're declaring yourself, and you declare yourself to the world, right? And in this declaration, there's a power. But if you don't know you have that power, other people declare you for you. And when you're declared for you, that means you have to act, behave, walk, talk, and do the things other people want you to do in order to fit into their mold of who you are supposed to be. So here we're saying that the power of I am is a power that allows you to create yourself at any given moment in time. And that whatever you put after that word is what you're going to manifest your life to be. So I know we get people come in to get you to shout it and to get you to affirm it, but at the end of the day, it is something that works, because if you say it with utmost belief, that this is what you are, this is who you are, then you will most likely enact that behavior and those actions. So instead of saying something like I am and you fill it in with a negative blank, when you put it in a negative word, what ends up happening?
-5.
Right? If you keep saying I can't do something, you're most likely not be able to do it. If you say you can and affirm it, you turn it to the positive. When you say I am, or whatever it is that you're capable of, you fill that word in with something beautiful, something constructive, something uplifting that allows you to move forward, allows you to acknowledge who you really are in life. Right? What are some words that we could use with I am?
Powerful. I am resourceful.
Resourceful.
Powerful.
Powerful.
I am trustworthy.
Trustworthy.
I am love.
Human. Love.
Intelligent.
Creative. So y'all got plenty of words that we can use anytime anybody asks you what you are. You know that you have the ability and infinite ability to fill in that blank with whatever it is that you want. That's true power. That's power. Because that's what's going to make you enact to the rest of the world. Nothing else matters unless you're able to affirm who you truly are. The issue is that we live in this illusion. Right now, a lot of us have been told as we've been growing up that maybe you ain't shit, you ain't nobody, you ain't gonna be nobody. You're always hearing negative comments about who you are. So since you have no reference growing up to say something that I am positive, then you grow up, when you get older, you're enacting behaviors and you don't know why. You don't recognize that you don't have the power to create yourself as you go along. So I'm here to remind you of that power. And I know you guys get reminded all the time. But it is a utmost power because it is from here that you continue to move your life forward. And we get that all the time. We understand that you're in here, you're wearing a uniform, you have a certain way of being and whatever may be in this kind of jail culture, but the fact that you're constantly being called inmate, over and over and over again, somebody asks you what you are, for some way, shape, or form, that word slipped into your vocabulary, I am an inmate. That's not what you are. So they enable your inability to move forward from that label. Especially when they keep calling you it over and over and over again. You are not an addict, you might have an addiction problem. You're not an inmate, you just might have a problem with the law, right? But when you start affirming yourself by these things, it starts to creep into who you truly are. And we are not that. You are so much more than an inmate. You are so much more than an addict.
Not to look at everything with a stigma. How to love myself first. We love a lot of people to death. I learned how to love a person to life now instead of loving them to death. Learned a lot, man. I learned a lot of stuff that I can teach my kids, that I can teach my wife, that I can go home and also teach my mom. That you don't have to just learn from another person that just have knowledge. Some people with knowledge that doesn't have all the knowledge in the world. I think I learned a lot of stuff in here that I can go home and teach somebody else now.
Rene Descartes, the founder of Western philosophy, saying, I think, therefore I am. Right? But is that 100% true? Because what that means is that thinking is automatic. Thinking happens on its own. And it does for a lot of people. But there's sometimes, even for those people, where we understand that we have the ability to control our thoughts. So you can sit there wallowing in the net, and y'all know if you've been in a situation, you're sitting there, somebody said some sideways to you, and you ignored it, and you kept walking, you sit down, and suddenly you start going over the scenario in your head, and then in that scenario, you fucked them up, you beat the shit out of them, you caught an extra charge, and the girl's mad, and you got a whole scenario. By the time you're done with that thought process, the physiology in your body changed to what you envisioned. You're angry now. You're upset. You're confronted. You're holding. You're stagnant. Right? So somebody else comes at you sideways. Now you have the energy to fight back. And what your mind perceives to be a threat. Right? But if what we're saying is that in the middle of that conversation in your mind, is there the ability to just stop the line of thoughts? In the middle of you beating the shit out of somebody in your mind, can you stop that and switch it to maybe you gave them a hug?
Yeah.
Maybe you pieced them out and switch the energy in your body, right? The power of thought is one of the most beautiful things in life, but if you don't understand that power, you will always be controlled, you will always lack control, you will always lack power because you don't have the ability to control the one God-given thing God gave you, which is your mind. To understand that the mind needs to be healthy. The mind needs to be clean. You need to be hygienic. The same way you brush your teeth every morning, you should be brushing your mind. Right? Cleaning your mind, taking care of your mind, making sure that you understand and always enact the power that you have over it. Again, you could be a master to your mind, or the mind could be a master over you.
Actually, my brother salute the program. That's a mind program.
Anything else?
Well, I'm getting a lot out of this program. I mean, I've been in many of the programs, but not like this one here. So this one right here is helping me all the way.
Then we talk about the concept of our presence, right? So here, everybody knows we could be standing, somebody could walk in this room, and everybody here knows that you've met a person who has no presence, right? That you don't even remember their name or what they look like after you met them. Like, wait, I forgot their name, I don't remember. And there's people that you meet, and you're like, wow, you remember their name, you remember everything about them. Something, you didn't even have to utter a word, but just something about their energy, something about them calls their attention.
Somebody like you.
Thank you, sir. But it's something that every single human being has the ability to do. It's just whether or not you know how to get to the point where you know how to enact presence, right? And And you know that. You could be standing and say in front of a judge in court. You can stand there pussyfooting, oh yes, Your Honor, being shook. Or you could act like you know what you sound like. Or you could stand there like a man and speak to someone like they a man. And when you carry that energy, they're going to respect you more. And this is in any area of life. The way you carry yourself is what you're going to get back. Right? So if I have that respect for myself, love for myself, confidence in myself, that's the energy that I'm going to exude. And when people come across this field of energy, they're going to acknowledge it in me. Right? And we didn't just say this as mystical, like, feelings. No, I'm talking about literal science, right? When we talked about brain waves, remember that? We talked about how the brain switches different frequencies, right? We talked about heart and the power of the heart, right? How much the heart exudes energy outside of the body can be picked up to 14 feet from the body. All right? So to understand that somebody standing here and you standing over there, you could be feeling something and now I'm picking it up. And a lot of the times we feel certain types of way, right? And it has nothing to do with us. It has to do with who's in our presence. Because if you don't have a strong energy, a strong field around you, somebody with a stronger field will come across and fuck your shit up. Right? You could just be sitting there trying to be chill. Somebody sits next to you and their energy is negative. Their thoughts are negative. Their emotions are negative. And by that, you merely being in their presence is going to lower your vibration and your frequency if you don't know how to defend yourself. And that in order to live to our highest version of self, what kind of feelings would the highest version of you have? And within the spirit, what kind of feelings?
Powerful.
Power. What else?
Energy. Happiness.
Happiness.
Love.
Love. Peace. Excitement. Joy. All those positive feelings, right, allow us to know that we're living in we're walking our path. We're here doing what we got to do because we're excited and we're moving forward. All right? But that, when can you feel these things? Can you feel them yesterday?
All the time.
Can you feel yesterday?
No.
Can you feel tomorrow?
No.
When can you feel?
Right now.
When can you feel?
Right now.
That's the power of now. That you can only be happy now. You can only be at peace now. You can only be successful regardless of your circumstances right now. So acknowledging and understanding that, your mind can race forwards. You're thinking about what could happen. Your mind goes backwards and think about shoulda, coulda, woulda happened. Right? You have to find a balance in that. All you have to do is claim now. What's going on right now? How is the air entering your lungs now? How is your heart beating? How are you sitting? How are you thinking? How are you feeling? All of these components of you have the ability to control. You have the ability to enact in the power of who you are. The power of now.
I mean, if I'm gonna be in jail, I might as well be here than being among all the rest of the crazy people. I mean, I came in here crazy myself. But coming here, it really opened my eyes to a lot of things because I didn't get locked up. I got saved. You know what I mean? And by coming here, it just showing me that it's my time now.
And it is in this power of now that we recognize the concept of emotional intelligence. All right? What was emotional intelligence again?
Knowing how you feel at the present.
Right? Knowing how you feel about what else? Knowing not just how you feel, knowing how other people feel, right? And knowing how they engage you due to that. How do you feel? How does your body react when you're angry? So I know y'all all get angry, so give me things that happen in your body when you're angry.
Mad.
Sweat.
Mad meaning you kind of lose control of your logic, right? I can't think no more. Oh shit, blah. You know what I mean? The snap, and everybody puts that look in their face that they get stupider.
Crazy. Crazy.
Temperature rise, heat.
Right? Temperature rises in the body. Right? And you loss of appetite.
You tense it up.
Tension in the muscles. What happens to the eyes?
Eyes get big.
Right? They get wider. What happens to the hands?
They sweat.
They sweat. Right? Why do the hands sweat again?
Perspiration.
To grip a weapon. Why do the eyes get big again?
To see
To
everything
see
around you.
more, visual sweep. Why does the temperature rise? Why does your heart rate increase?
To pump
To
more.
give you more energy, right? That's why you lose your appetite. Your body can't be worried about digesting food. Your body has to worry about putting the energy where it needs to go. All right? So if we know that, the body is going to respond every single time, hands down, with whatever emotion you have. Whatever emotion you have. And I know we always get confused with this, but I'm going to ask it again. What was the difference again between an emotion and a feeling?
Emotion, action, impulse.
Impulse.
Motion, energy, and motion.
Energy and motion, right? So when that energy goes in motion, that's when we call it a feeling. So the emotion is sadness, but how do you feel sad? What do you do? What does someone do when they're sad?
Cry.
Cry. So feeling sadness is to cry, right? But since we're told to be hard, to be gangster, be from the street, and we can't cry, you're not being a man, all of a sudden, because that energy needs to be in motion, but it is not in motion, now it becomes stagnant. That energy does not leave your body.
Interested in this help the brothers get an insight of themselves, their history, learning more about where they come from and where they're able to grow within themselves and how they're able to help the community instead of breaking it down, instead of trying to destroy oneself, learn how to build oneself up. And as you build yourself, as they're building themselves up, you're also building up the community.
But so many of us get exposed to so many stresses and so much shit that pisses us off that there's no real way to process all of that emotional, chemical energy in your body. Right? So you're told not to cry. You're told to hold it in. Every time they feel they're going to cry, it gets that pain in their throat. Right? And you get that pain, that's an indicator because this has been over time. This isn't like, oh, this one time I held my crying. No, you've been doing it so much that it hurts. And when the body hurts, what is your body trying to tell you?
Release it.
Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Alright? So you need to speak how you feel. If you feel sad, you need to cry. If you feel angry, you need to voice yourself. But we do these constructively. This is why we call it emotionally intelligent. The opposite of that is someone who has no control over that. So if I blow up and I become angry and I start trying to fight everybody in this room, and everybody's trying to hold me down, I'm going to get hurt, suffer the consequences. But at the end of the day, it's because I kind of choose to lose that power. Anybody here been in the middle of a fit and kind of remember in the middle of it that maybe you should stop? Right? But then you still keep going anyway, right? Why? Because it gives you power. And so many of us lack so much power in our life that all you have to do is be presented with that, oh, I was waiting. I've been waiting for somebody to fuck with me today, right? Because now I can let out this power, then I have no other way of exercising. I don't got a job, I don't have access to jobs, access to employment, access to schooling. None of the circumstances, none of the institutions in our community really are there to really 100% habilitate us as human beings. So one of my arguments was, so then how can we come into an institution like this and become rehabilitated when we haven't even been habilitated to begin with? So it becomes the duty of this institution to do the things that the institutions in our community are supposed to be doing in the first place. But we all know, we start losing track. We start to give in to this illusion and this dream that it ain't supposed to work anymore. But then we start to recognize that when we gain the right knowledge and information that it lets you acknowledge what your true power is as a human being, you can't be stopped. So I really wish, and I make a call, this is like a call of arms, and every single one of you, if you gain enough spiritual strength and wisdom to stand up and start making a difference. All right, familia, I love y'all.